So I'm in Florida with family, about to ring in the new year. I sort of wanted to reflect on how I went from being, a kid nervous to go to middle school to someone who's about to start a full-time job at a major tech company with great friends in a lot of different places that you never really expect. There's a Steve Jobs quote that talks about how everything connects when you look back, but you don't realize what connects. Isolating that into one idea is what I call the power of doing, where small things that you wouldn't think lead to something, whether that be different successes or whatever else. And just a sentence with law would be, do more and life will be interesting and success-filled. Obviously with this methodology and just doing things, you're going to have uncomfortability, you're going to deal with a lot of the opinions of others, and there will be a lot of failures. But along the way you're going to have successes, excitement, and memories as well with a bunch of different people. And so, in my opinion, it's been worth it to always follow this sort of guidelines. It's up to you whether you want to employ this or not. And I try to forget the failures to keep my mindset on the doing mentality. But here are some of the ones that I remember applying for internships or jobs. I've been rejected by so many. It's almost countless. I've also been through sad breakups. Everyone goes through those. A more specific example of failure was when I started punting my senior year. In my first game, on the fourth punt, I still remember, I couldn't see the ball well enough and it hit me right in the face. It was a fumble. Imagine going to your coach after that and telling him that you should still punt and be trusted on the team after that. Quite an experience for sure. Also with punting, I tried out for Pitt's team to walk on. Made it to the second tryout, but that was pretty embarrassing because I didn't do very well at all. Finally, I'm not very musical, but I tried to make this remix with my friend. Use this gospel. Safe to say it wasn't the best in terms of my vocals, but I still get a laugh at it to this day. Enough of the failures and funny examples, let's move on to the successes, because I think if you focus on those, it encourages you to do more doing rather than being scared of what may happen. In high school, I took the most advanced classes I could. I called it try hard along the way.
Bro, this dude's a try hard, bro.
But I became valedictorian, and then I also gained an appreciation for computer science because I took that AP class. Not knowing anything about it, but that's sort of where I went with my college career and now my future career. In high school, I did this mentorship program called Link Leader, and I met one of my best friends, Logan, through that. Being friends with Logan, I was able to paint up with all the seniors in my junior year. People had some opinions of me in my grade because they didn't think I should be painting up as a junior, but I still had a great time. And that allowed me to actually play football my senior year while still having that paint up experience. In my junior year, I went out for tennis. I never really played competitively at all, but I still had a great time, and I met one of my best friends, Yesh, through that. My senior year, I went out for football as a punter, and I got the Friday Night Lights experience, and then I also went out for soccer. I'd played all my life, but not in high school. We got second in state, just a great time in general. And I wouldn't have experienced any of those three sports in high school at all if I had just decided to be comfortable and just pursue academics. In my senior year, I made a video called My College Process. Even a teacher told me that it was a great public mistake for making this video because he thought I was bragging, but that's how I got my start on YouTube, and it went viral. After my senior year of high school, I planned out and went on a trip with my buddy Logan out west, Grand Canyon, Arizona, Utah. We were stopping by the city where the trail that goes down to Havasu Falls is. Super hard to get permits there. We didn't even realize that before we planned the trip. So we didn't have any permits, but we called anyway. And my friend and I have been calling about permits this past couple months with no luck. But tonight we're staying in Peach Springs, so we're wondering if there's any availability tomorrow or the next day. Yeah. Thank you so much.
We got it?
Yeah. Pretty crazy that we were able to do that. We weren't expecting anything of it, but we're like, why not call? So we had one of the greatest experiences of our lives and see the beauty that it had there. Going to college, I started working out. I'd never done anything in terms of weights before. Throughout college, I was able to put on 25 pounds of muscle. When I was a freshman going to a Pitt football game, there were some people painting up in the front row and they needed somebody. And so they just turned around and asked if anybody wanted to paint up. I took them up on their offer, and that led me through the years. I actually started leading the paint up crew at Pitt Painting Panthers. And so that was a whole lot of fun painting up for the football games. And that would have never happened if I didn't take that opportunity. Also during my freshman year, I went to a club meeting for engineering business administration. Someone there recommended that I go to the career fair, and I was unsure. I was a freshman who would want to hire me for an internship, but I went anyway. I actually was able to get my first internship at K&L Gates as a business analyst. That really started me out in my career, just taking this guy up on his advice to go to the career fair and just try it. Playing intramural football with some people from my floor, we were beat by another team, and I had seen Blake, who I knew from my freshman year orientation. I told them, if you need anybody for the playoffs, just let me know and I'll be happy to join the team. Let me join. I met a lot of great friends through that. We actually won the football championship that year, and I did have contributions. I think I had a touchdown and a field goal maybe in the last game that were pretty crucial, so always go out there and do things. Also, those people that I was playing football with were actually actually part of a church community, and they were planning a spring break trip. I was hesitant to go because I didn't really know what their community was about. I actually talked to some buddies about it, like, should I go, should I not go? I just figured, why not go? And I met a lot of great people through there. Met one of my best friends, Trevor. He's been awesome throughout the years. It was awesome to go on that trip. While in Florida on that spring break trip, we had a free day, and I noticed that someone from my high school was there too, and so I just reached out to him if he wanted to meet up. I didn't really know him that well, but we decided to...
Our pedicure is done.
Sort of started my friendship with Thomas. Reaching out to somebody that I wasn't like very established friends with has led to one of the greatest friendships that I've had. In college, I was an RA throughout my whole sophomore, junior, senior year. I also got a position as a student software developer, in which I actually reached out and said, I don't think I'm very qualified, but I'm going to work as hard as possible and try to figure everything out. Everything I'm going to tell you is the truth, but just letting you know, I'm not very experienced. And I got that position, worked well there. All of that sort of led to having enough money to buy a BMW M2, which I still have and still get a lot of joy from. On the topic of the car, did not know how to do stick shift. Some weeks before it, I was practicing with a buddy of mine, Robbie's car. So I was going into buying this car without, having much experience on it. Wasn't really able to do very well on the test drive, but got the hang of it, and stick shift is one of the most fun things for me. Going out of my comfort zone for that has been awesome because it's constantly fun every single time I get into it. Also in college, I fast-tracked my process, taking all the advanced classes in high school, going straight into more advanced classes in college. One coding class, first day, he was like, okay, compile this, run these, and I was like, I don't even know how to compile from the classes I had taken in high school. I had to go to his office hours. I had that uncomfortability in that class and other ones as well, where I wasn't sure of myself, but I had confidence that I'd be able to figure it out. In doing that, I had the ability to graduate in 3 years, and so that allowed me to apply for and eventually get an internship with Capital One, because they give internships in the penultimate summer. That software engineering experience there led me into future opportunities as well. I applied to Google basically every internship cycle there was. Finally made it through for the fall of my junior year, but I was waiting to get project matched after I'd made it through hiring committee and everything, and I was waiting for the longest time. I never got matched with any project, so I thought I'm still not going to get an internship. But I had a professor for one of my classes in that spring, and I went up to him and just said, I'm in the project matching phase. If you know anybody in your office that is looking for an intern, could you send them my resume? I don't know exactly how it happened, but the resume got around. Somebody reached out. They had an internship opportunity, and that is where I got my internship with Google. So without having reached out like I did, I would not have gotten the internship I got, and I would also have not gotten the full-time position probably that I have now. Now, probably what I get asked about most is how I met JuJu. So I basically made a video saying why we should be friends, and I called it How I Became Best Friends with JuJu Smith-Schuster. Posted on YouTube, Instagram, got friends to tag, everything, the whole nine. And I finally got a Fortnite account he followed to DM it to him, and he finally saw it. One random night I got a message. He just said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm at a Pitt soccer game right now. And he just said, what's the address? I'm gonna pull up. He came here in his I-8. I had the jitters, I had butterflies, everything. I was so nervous because it's someone famous. I'm surprised I made it through the handshake. I was pretty confident in that, but I got his number from that game. We just kept in touch whenever there was something at Pitt. Let him know that something was going on if he wanted to do it. That led to going to some of his games. I still text him Bible verses before the games. We play Call of Duty, hang out, do whatever. That's been pretty wild. That cringy, monotone Instagram video, it led to all of that. I was so nervous when I put out that video as well, because it's like if he doesn't respond, you kind of look like a fool. This most recent past summer, I had known Tyler through one of JuJu's events, but I had never really hung out with him or anything. Coming back to Pittsburgh, I was looking for someone to work out with, etc., and I knew he worked out. Reached out to him, and we became really great friends through that. One of my best friends to this day. We made a lot of vlogs, memories together. It really is about just doing things, putting yourself out there. In the sort of viral sphere, I guess you'd call it, was able to make TikToks with Joey Reed, Touche, and JuJu on Heinz Field, and how it sort of led to that. One day I asked JuJu to go for a bike ride, just for like an alternate form of training. We went and we just did a TikTok dance with a couple of girls that were on the sidewalk. He asked me for my TikTok and he followed me. And he doesn't follow many people on TikTok, so Joey went to who JuJu follows and found me there. And I got a DM from him on Instagram that was like, can we come through to Pittsburgh? So because I asked him on that bike ride and he followed me, and Joey found me through him, that led to making those TikToks just because of making that action. I had no idea that asking JuJu to go for a bike ride and that happening would have led to making viral TikToks on Heinz Field. One final thing, I never played golf growing up, but I wanted to get into it and keeping up with it for the past year or so. Been one of the most fun things for me to do now. It's alone time. Also time with friends if they want to go golfing. Time to think about things, reflection, having a good time, and being outside as well. And so don't be afraid to pursue things just because other people aren't doing them, you're not good at them, etc. I hope these examples that I've given convey the message that I'm trying to get out there. I'm sure it's been referred to as many different things in years past, but for the past few, I've been referring to it as the power of doing. I hope this video can serve as a lesson as well as a reminder to you, as well as myself in the future, to just do things. Don't just think, oh, that might be cool to do, but I'm not going to do it because I'd rather just do nothing. That's the easier way out. People might express a distaste to some of the things that you might be doing. Stay true to yourself, and just remember, do more, and life will be interesting and success-filled.